Time now for your forecast first. WRBL News 3 First Alert Weather.
Well, it's gloomy, but we have occasionally seen a few peaks of sun here on our Morgan & Morgan sky view overlooking Phoenix City Amphitheater. Our temperatures are slowly warming up, just like we said they would. We're sitting in the upper 40s, middle to upper 40s, 49 degrees in Columbus, 45 in Americus. Now, looking at our satellite and radar, we've got some cloud cover. A few showers are now starting to develop and sneak on in. We'll have more of that as we go through the afternoon. Here's a look at your day part forecast. Temperatures in the 50s today, your 7-day in 10 minutes. You're watching WRBL News 3 on your side.
All right, thank you, Nicole. Straight ahead, the Muskogee County Schools approved a redistricting map different than the Columbus City Council, how it will impact you in the upcoming election. Up next, jury selection is starting today in the federal hate crimes trial of the men convicted of killing Ahmaud Arbery. Plus, find out why one mayor in Minneapolis says he's placing a ban on no-knock warrants following the shooting death of a 20-year-old man. All that and more as News 3 this midday starts right now.
On your side, this is News 3 Midday.
Well, good afternoon, and thank you for trusting News 3. I'm Crystal Whitman. And after several months of maps, the Muskogee County School Board of Education voted on the state's recommendation today when it comes to redistricting. Our News 3's Kinsey Beach has been following this story and joins us with more. Kinsey?
Well, redistricting is voted on only every 10 years, and after both the City Council and Board of Education agreed to Map J, today that changed. The Board of Education unanimously voted to approve the state recommendation, and City Council is going a different route. Muskogee County School District and the Columbus City Council will now have different district numbers for residents. Well, why? Now, Fort Benning is being added to the population with population and demographics, but only for the school district. This is expanding District 3, 6, and 7 onto Post and will add close to 7,000 residents.
What will be different for you is for your city council representative and your school board representative, those district numbers may differ. But it just worked better for our citizenry and for our voters to have that alignment. We will not have that alignment anymore, as the school board will include portions of, or all of Fort Benning, in our demographics.
The issue board members will run into here is with access to Fort Benning when it comes time for campaigning as we approach elections. There's so much more of a rush for the school over the city as they try to fast-track the map to be approved by the state prior to the May election. The board approved the vote unanimously today. Head to our website at WRBL.com for a link to an interactive map to see where your new district lines may fall. Crystal, back to you.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Kinsey, for that report. And keeping an eye on Muskogee County, the school district has updated their mask recommendations for students and staff members. Now, starting next Monday, that's February the 14th, mask wearing will be optional but encouraged for students and staff. Now, masks will still be required on buses per federal mandate. The school district says they will continue their current cleaning protocols and keep track of local data to make adjustments as needed. And over in Minneapolis, there are calls for justice after a police SWAT team officer shot and killed a 22-year-old man during a no-knock warrant raid on the apartment where he was staying. Now, tensions have been high in the city since the killing of George Floyd, with 3 former officers now in federal trial in that case. Jennifer Mayerly has that report.
Amir Locke was asleep just before 7 a.m. Wednesday when a Minneapolis SWAT team entered the apartment with their guns drawn. In police body camera video, 22-year-old Locke is seen lying on the couch wrapped in a blanket. A gun is visible in Locke's hand just before officers opened fire, only about 9 seconds after entering the apartment.
I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen too many times.
Today, Locke's parents are mourning their loss.
I should be able to tell my son that I love you, and he says I love you too.
The use of no-knock warrants came under fire in 2020 following the shooting death of Breonna Taylor by police in Kentucky. That prompted Minnesota legislators to tighten restrictions on the tactic to, quote, limit the likelihood of bad outcomes. In the years since the policy change, Minneapolis police say the number of no-knock raids dropped to 90 from a previous average of nearly 140 a year. Locke was not listed on the original search warrant and has no known connection to the crime.
Both a no-knock and a knock search warrant were obtained so that the SWAT team could assess the circumstances and make the best possible decision about entry.
Locke has no criminal record, and his family says Locke had a permit for the gun seen in the video.
He was executed by the MPD, and I want the police officer that murdered my son to be prosecuted and fired.
Jennifer Merrily, CBS News, Minneapolis.
Now, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry's office says it severely limited the use of no-knock warrants last November as part of reforms related to the death of George Floyd. But a report from the Minneapolis Star-Tribune found at least a dozen have been issued since January. Now, Fry has now imposed a moratorium on no-knock warrants unless there are imminent threats of harm. And we're keeping our eye on a number of other big stories for you this midday. Keeping an eye on Georgia. Jury selection is starting, and the federal hate crimes trial of 3 men already convicted of murdering Ahmaud Arbery. The judge ordered the first 50 potential jurors to report to the courthouse in Brunswick today. Now, they'll be questioned to see if they can serve as fair and unbiased because of intense pretrial publicity. Roughly 1,000 people across 43 Georgia counties got jury duty notices for this trial. And keeping an eye on Alabama, the state's law enforcement agency plans to temporarily close driver's license to update its computer system. Now, a statement from Governor Kay Ivey's office says that license offices will shut down starting April the 18th, with plans to reopen on April the 26th. Now, in addition to new computer hardware, data on file since 1970 will be converted into the new Alabama law enforcement agency driver license system. Now, neither in-person nor online services will be available to the public during this transition, but road tests will continue. And as we head to break, we want to thank you again for making News 3 Midday your #1 source for local news at noon. And coming up, many diplomatic talks are scheduled as a threat of Russian invasion into Ukraine continues. More details after the break.
on your side. You're watching WRBL News 3 Midday.
Well, diplomatic talks are heating up today in an attempt to stop the potential Russian invasion of Ukraine. French President Emmanuel Macron is meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Natalie Brand has more.
President Biden is meeting with Germany's new Chancellor, Olaf Scholz, at the White House in a high-stakes meeting with Russia-Ukraine tensions top of mind. As he left Germany, the Chancellor told reporters, Russia must know if there's military aggression against Ukraine, that will have a high price. The discussion is also expected to focus on energy, with Germany heavily reliant on natural gas from Russia.
President Biden has pledged the United States will do everything we can to help ease any disruptions.
Germany, the U.S. and other NATO allies are working on a package of economic sanctions described as unprecedented.
The choice belongs to President Putin. He can make the choice of going down the route of diplomacy and dialogue with the United States and NATO, or he can take the consequences of invasion.
U.S. officials tell CBS News Russia has the capacity to capture Kyiv in a matter of days if it decides to invade.
We're in the window, meaning that we can't just assume it's going to be a couple weeks off.
New satellite images show Russian troops in Belarus have moved closer to Ukraine's border. They're now about 30 miles away.
Not only the fighting forces, but also more and more the forces that is necessary to support those forces.
This weekend, another shipment of defense arms from the U.S. arrived in Ukraine as its allies continue to lean on diplomacy to avoid an invasion. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
And we're so glad to have you with us here on News 3. And our Nicole Phillips is keeping an eye on the conditions outside for us.
Well, right now, as we look out, Phoenix City Amphitheater, we've got clouds. We'll have a chance for showers today. I'll time it all out for you coming up after the break.
Hurt by a big truck? 1-800-CALL-KEN.
One call, that's all.
on your side. Meteorologist Nicole Phillips has your first alert forecast.
Well, today marks the first day of Severe Weather Preparedness Week in Georgia. And today is really about getting prepared. So a couple of things you can do now, well ahead of severe weather season, because we know this is coming. Go ahead and build your severe weather kit. Also review your plan or make one, and also have a way to get warnings. One of the ways is downloading the weather app, and then also having a weather radio. Those will help you in the event of severe weather. Again, we don't have any severe weather in the forecast, but we know it is February, and soon we will start to enter into that season. Here's a look outside right now. We've got cloudy skies. It's been kind of gloomy all morning long. Our temperatures have only warmed up a few degrees. We're sitting in the upper 40s to low 50s, 50 right here in Columbus, 48 in Pine Mountain. Now, as we look at our satellite and radar, we've got some showers starting to move in from the southwest. And again, this is all a little disturbance that has been to the southwest. Now, it continues to move east, so a lot of those showers will continue to move on in. The best chance again today will be anywhere from Columbus and Point South, although I can't rule out a stray shower or two in our northern counties. So looking at our day part forecast, temperatures still warming up here, but not very much. 53 degrees by 3 p.m., 45 as we go towards 6 p.m. And again, a few showers will be possible. By late this evening, we'll start to see things improving, and we'll see that here on our radar forecast. So here's a look right around 3 p.m. We still have the showers around. By 6:30, we're starting to see our clouds breaking apart just a little bit. But more of that will happen as we go overnight and into early Tuesday morning. When you notice right around 6 a.m., 7 a.m. on Tuesday, we still have some cloud cover, but it's not as thick as it is today. Then by Tuesday afternoon, we're seeing some sunshine, and it's this sunshine here that will allow our temperatures to really warm up, getting up into the upper 50s to even near 60 degrees. So 58 degrees on Tuesday. Again, we'll have some clouds in the morning, then some sunshine for the afternoon. Then by Wednesday, we're in the low 60s with plenty of sunshine. 64 on Thursday, we'll have a front come through. It'll be a dry front. You'll notice a little more cloud cover. And then as we go into Saturday, 67, that will be another front. And behind that front, we'll be in the 50s with some sunshine.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Nicole. And we want to invite you to stay with News 3 Midday. Ahead, the IRS is offering more help to file your taxes, but time is running short. We'll explain coming up for you right after the break.
On your side, you're watching WRBL News 3 Midday.
And welcome back, friends. We're keeping our eye on consumer news for you this midday. The IRS wants to help you with your taxes, even on Saturdays. The agency says they'll even offer walk-in help at 35 tax assistance centers across the country, but there are only 4 Saturdays available starting this Saturday, February the 12th. The agency says it's part of a larger effort to help taxpayers this filing season. Now, keep in mind, it's already facing a huge backlog of unprocessed returns because of the pandemic. And Delta CEO wants a national no-fly list for passengers who misbehave. In a letter to Attorney General Merrick Garland, opponents say a national comprehensive no-fly list of unruly passengers would bar passengers from flying on any commercial air carrier. Now, it would also prevent future incidents and send a message about the seriousness of not complying with crew members. And Apple is reportedly gearing up to launch a lower-cost 5G model iPhone. And according to Bloomberg, the company is aiming for an unveiled date around March the 8th. A new device would be the first update to its SE model in 2 years. Apple is also reportedly planning to reveal an updated iPad as well this spring. And for all of the day's big stories, be sure to visit our website. That's WRBL.com. And remember, News 3 is always on your side. And Nicole will have a final check of your forecast coming up for you right after the break.
On your side, you're watching WRBL News 3 Midday.
Well, a 30-year-old IT professional has cracked an unusual record, hula hooping while in a plank for 6.5 minutes. It seems like it's pretty hard to do there. That's Kai Sandmeyer. He saw a video of a former record holder on Facebook and decided he had to do it. And Nicole, this has to be really cool. Pretty amazing right there. Hula hooping while in a plank.
Yeah, I've got one of those weighted hula hoops, but it doesn't look as hard as that. We've got some clouds today and a chance for some showers as well. We'll be in the 50s again on Tuesday with more sun. Then we're in the 60s for the rest of the week.
Alrighty, thank you, Nicole, and thank you at home for watching News 3 Midday. Make it a great day.